I think the biggest thing we're missing is engagement with the fans.
How do I get a kid to love practice as much as he loves the game?
Content is the way to get the youth to engage with the game.
We have to start lifting small, punting the ball.
Welcome back to Chalk Talk, everybody. We got Chandler Price here. We got Coach Ferber. We got some jabroni that I don't know who he is.
Cuts, redo this shit.
We're asking the question today: is baseball still America's pastime? And I think we have a good group here to talk about it because we all have kind of strong feelings on this. I think baseball is I think it's fallen behind. It's not nearly as popular as sports like NBA, NFL. I mean, even some like golf is gaining popularity. Soccer is gaining popularity. Baseball seems to be losing popularity. Like, you work with a lot of kids, obviously. That's where the popularity really comes in. That's the next generation of people. Like, kids play baseball till they're 12. They go to high school. They stop caring about it. Is that what you see? Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that it's always, with football and basketball, you get to see all the highlight reels. These guys make it okay to do little dances on the side and just have fun with it. And, you know, over the years, traditionally, baseball's been more like, hey, show up, outclass everybody, which is fine, and it should be. I'm old school when it comes to outclass, out-hustle, out-energize, all that stuff. But, like, I was walking around a stadium with Sim and Chandler Price 2 days ago, and he was getting mobbed by young guys that just love the entertainment value and what he does even more than I would say 50% of big leaguers that are and I don't mean
that's way low. It's
low.
Like
it's like more.
He gets recognized more than probably 95% of big leaguers.
Right, and I believe it's because they feel closer to him. They feel like they could. You're showing people what baseball really is. It's about hitting jacks, talking to shorties. No, he's married.
Cut again. Cut. Too many cuts in this shit.
I'm married too. So it's not about. But it's the ability to, like, you know, wake up like passionate every day and going to do something that you just love doing, and because you allow people into your personal life and you don't try to just run scripts. You don't have any bleep out stuff. It's like, it's not censored.
It's raw, yeah.
And they like that, and a lot of the teams, you notice, and no disrespect to any teams, because I know running a business and having a corporate identity, you have to abide by certain rules.
Of course.
But at the same time, I think there could be way more thought put into how is the social media aspect of introducing the players to the fans, letting young kids see real, actual big league practice. How do these guys do drills? Right. I was with Trevor over here the other day, and the stuff he was doing was so simple, yet the concepts that he came up with. I'm going to put some stuff on the internet too that I really loved about making loud noises on different things.
Right.
He gave me a bunch of insight from my pitchers about just how to come set without tipping pitches and having a set point, just little things like that. But none of that's talked about. It's just about, let's do these random crazy drills, and somehow it's going to unlock this secret big league potential, and none of it does.
Yeah. You're a huge fan, obviously, Kev. You love baseball. What do you love about baseball?
I mean, it was just, I think something for me personally, from family-wise, I was too short to play basketball, kind of too small to play football. So it was baseball for me was cool to see. There's guys like Pedroia, just any 5'6" guys can play baseball. So really size didn't necessarily matter, and you can ball out. So that was the thing for me, is what made baseball cool, was that you could be any shape, size, and be,
So what do you like about it today? What's the most entertaining thing for you about baseball today? Because obviously, you edit a bunch of our stuff. You watch what performs well on social media, and you see that. But you also are entertained by what others are doing on social media.
Yeah, I would say definitely the hype videos are things that I'm passionate about and doing. So seeing occasionally when MLB or teams put out stuff like that, but otherwise long form content, we were mentioning, with practices and whatever. So with baseball, you don't ever really get to see that, because again, it's baseball players have to be a model sport or model athlete, versus something like Hard Knocks. So on football, you get a full on behind the scenes of what goes on in the preseason.
Real shit.
So,
Yeah, that's something I try to do, obviously, with the vlog.
Yeah.
You just see what goes on
Yeah.
day to day.
Yeah.
And I think that's missing from so many team social media profiles and player social media profiles. Like, you're such a great example. You got a glove deal, you got a bat deal, you got like batting gloves, shoes. Like, you got more deals
than Mike Trout.
Than the vast majority. Yeah, Mike's might be a slightly larger dollar figure, but like, I would say, I mean, probably more than 50, 60% of the big leaguers for sure. Like, and you just try. You just put stuff on social media, show kids like to your point earlier, like the realness behind it. Like, what is it that, like, is baseball America's pastime to you? Like, do you think it's slipping? And like, how can people?
I think MLB is definitely slipping. I think we're definitely not taking full advantage, right? So even for me, I'm just a fucking I'm a minor leaguer. I never made it or anything like that, but I show the real side of things. Whether I'm training or doing any kind of content, I'm being real, authentic, instead of fucking trying to cover up a bunch of shit which is cool. Like, I mean, yeah, you can make cool videos, I get that, but I mean, people want to see the real shit. I think that's why I get so much engagement from especially kids, which is crazy to see, because I mean, you watch my shit, I'm dropping F-bombs and stuff like that. I'm pretty raw, right? But kids and people like that, younger generation people like that, because I'm being real. I don't show some fucking bullshit video of, and I'm not saying it's bullshit, but like, I don't do this and you'll throw 95. I don't do that shit, I just do me. I share my training. I have fun doing it. I engage. I think the biggest thing we're missing is engagement with the fans, right? Yeah. So if you're not engaging with the fans, you think this is cool, but you keep posting just pictures of a stadium, right? A lot of the MLB is.
See, that's the thing. Like so, Instagram. Like, you post a ton of videos. Instagram is predominantly a picture platform.
Right.
But like, how hard is it to engage? You get a picture of a guy in a uniform, and you're like,
great.
How do I engage with that? Like,
exactly.
Oh, I like it. Okay, so you get a bunch of likes, whatever.
Right.
You look at it, but like, it's gone like that.
Right.
You post some videos, people are like, oh, now there's some entertainment value. You capture people's attention for a couple more seconds.
Right.
Like, oh, they see this, they pick this apart about the video, they hear a saying, they see a movement, like whatever the case is.
Right.
And that's not done nearly as much. And that's why I think why TikTok is like
huge,
popping off. But
right.
There's not a whole lot of MLB players on TikTok.
No, I mean, I don't think anyone really is taking full advantage. I think you're probably the only one that was taking full advantage of it before. It's just like you were doing like YouTube, like all these platforms, right? And your YouTube's stupid. You're like almost 500,000 subscribers because you're posting real shit. You're not really sugarcoating it, if that makes any sense. And kids these days, they don't like fake shit, man. I'm telling you. People think, oh, you make this all pretty and stuff like that, that's cool. But kids don't give a fuck. Kids want to see the real shit, more so than what you think. A lot of us adults are like, oh, it's too raw for kids. No, man. I mean, kids know a lot more than you think.
If you find a way to get that like 13 to 18-year-old demographic to like still like baseball as they're going through, because they lose baseball when they get to high school because it's all about basketball or football or like social stuff.
Right.
And there's no social aspect of baseball.
Right.
No social groups are showing up to a baseball game because it's boring. Like,
exactly.
If there's entertainment value there,
right.
maybe. Like, everyone shows up to the high school football game.
Right.
Everyone's showing up to the basketball game. We got crowds there. Like, you get 10 people at a baseball game in high school.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not cool. It's not like, culturally, it's not cool.
Exactly.
Just to add a layer to what you're saying too, what I realize is that not just making him love the game, but how do I get a kid to love practice as much as he loves the game? That's the key for me, right? Because my perspective is a little different. His is entertainment, like raw foot. Mine is somewhat entertaining, but I like to slip in some instruction stuff for kids. That's why.
Yeah, you're like a good blend between. I'm like all information.
Right, all information.
And I'm like more entertainment. Like you're like in the middle of it.
So how do you get the kids to like engage with practice more? Like how do you?
I think through content. I think through content is the best way to get kids involved in anything, right? So if you want a kid to like to throw in content. You throwing, but instead of just a video or a picture of you throwing, get some informational shit, get some motivation shit, or get some entertainment value out of it, and you can easily do that. I mean,
I'll tell you what Sim does. Great players, they turn everything into a competition.
Right.
The great players that I've noticed, two things. They got great imaginations, so in practice, they can visualize themselves in the games a lot better than some kid that's just out there running through it. So they can imagine themselves in the game in key pressure situations. Also, they turn everything into a competition, right? And that's what he does really well, is that everything's like exit velo, throwing hard. Now, that's a piece of it. There has to be some structure to it, too.
Right.
But that's a big key.
On the content side, do you have any tips, Kev, for like for players to put out more content? Like if we're saying like content is the way to get the youth to engage with the game, make content of the game, make content of practice, entertainment value, information, a blend. Like there's a lot of different ways to do it, but just put out the real stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got any tips? Like how like it's tough, right? Because there's so many regulations.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I would say the biggest thing that I've found as a videographer and working with like a bunch of different players is that a majority of the players that I've worked with do not know how to use their phone, like how to use their camera. Just even setting it up on a tripod, like they don't know how to do it. You know, so it's just trying to learn something like that where it's like, okay, if you're gonna take video of yourself like to break down for throwing, like you can just post that up on, you know, on Instagram or something. It's just a little short clip, you know, because those like kind of help. But then it's like for you yourself, you know, trying to, you know, of course it's not as detailed as you, but like for them, like they can start getting into like, this is why I do this, or, you know, it's like start doing certain drills or whatnot. You know, so I think those are the different things that players can start doing more. Granted, not every player has that personality to want to do that,
Right.
But, you know, at the same time, I think for everybody, it's like just, you know, wanting to brand themselves out a little.
It's almost like teams discourage it though too. I mean, you guys were at Guardians camp,
Right.
And like here's content creators like making content for the players.
Right.
So the players literally don't have to do anything,
Yeah.
right? Like we're holding the camera, we're just, hey, what's up? And this is like the real stuff. Like, oh wow, Sim was hanging out with Plesac, or like, you know, Ferbs was with Tristan McKenzie, or whoever, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're on the field, like this is what it looks like at big league camp, whatever. This is like behind the scenes content that it would be super easy for the teams to do.
Right.
You know, of course, it would be super. Players can't do it. They don't have their phone on the field. But like
Right.
that's why it's a unique access, right? Awesome. You guys are going to produce 10 videos, 20 videos, who knows what, right? And get all this engagement. You guys get shut down, right?
Right.
They literally like, they just tell you, hey,
Can't
can't
post
post it.
Can't post it.
Yeah.
Because I think the way that in their ideas, I think they're thinking that we're sharing some type of secret sauce that they have that other teams don't have. They don't want to see how they guys practice, but we're not actually doing that. And the way that the game grows is by sharing your content. If I try to play, this is my part of the sandbox over here, and all you guys are over there, that's not how people grow. You know, their networks grow and people get involved with the game. You know what I mean? So
Right.
my idea is keep on pumping out as much content as you can.
Right.
People don't want to share a drill because they're afraid somebody's going to copy it.
Right.
Bro, that's if you talk, let's talk about drill design.
Right.
I'll put out any drill because I have an open mind. If I have an open mind, there's always more where that came from.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I want to say, like, kind of just as like a piggyback to that, like when I was back in LA working with a couple of guys that I know and I've done videos for, with, you know, Ronald Acuna was there, Chris Taylor was there, like some pretty decent names. And I asked them, I was like, hey,
Acuna's pretty
can I
decent.
do like, you
Yeah,
know,
he's alright.
no, but I was like, yeah.
Decent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Potential Hall of Fame.
pretty
Go ahead.
average,
So like I told them, I was like, hey, like I do hype videos, like can I do something? And they're like, sure, but then like as soon as I started filming, they're like, no.
Right.
And I was like, why not?
Yeah.
You know, it's like what is so secretive about like what you're doing, or like why don't you want to post like your progress? You know,
I just
'cause-
think there's like a weird like misconception about, hey, like I don't want to be that guy to like make videos and shit. I'm like, dude,
Well, it's gotta
like
change,
when you grow your brand, right? You only get more opportunities, you get fucking deals, you get more money, you get more fame, everything. You engage to these large audience of people through what do people do? Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff, right? Social media.
You gotta give people content where they are. You gotta entertain the people where they are.
Right.
People don't go to games as much anymore.
Exactly.
People are at home. They're video gaming. They're on social media. They're
Right.
watching YouTube, TikTok, whatever. You gotta put your product in front of them where they are.
Right.
Let me ask you something, Trey. Let me ask you something.
Sorry guys,
If
we have to kind of end this. It's about the 15-minute
Alright,
mark, so we,
oh,
we
yes.
have to start lifting small, bunting the ball more.
It's time to lift small.
Yeah,
Okay.
small, bunt the ball.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Chief, yo, I love you. Use my code King of Chico. Live big, baby. Fuck.